Hey, what's up everybody? Just want to hop on camera and talk to you a little bit about New York Comic Con and my experience. I hope you enjoyed the video I made. I just put up, my little walkthrough video, all the video footage I took from New York Comic Con. And hope, maybe if you didn't get to go, you got to see some of the things that were on the show floor this year. But this is more like a review of New York Comic Con. Now, I've been going to New York Comic Con for 6 years. Actually, this would be 5 years for me. I skipped last year. I sold my pass to a buddy who needed it, but I've been going for a while. I've been going to conventions, comic book conventions, horror conventions, etc. for quite a while, and I've been to them all over the United States and stuff. And of course, New York Comic Con is probably the second largest Comic Con in the country. I think San Diego is probably the biggest one. That one kind of draws the biggest crowd and most of the attention because all the most popular things sort of are announced there, and it's just so close to LA and California. It's easier for these big companies and celebrities to go there and talk about what's coming out. But New York Comic Con draws a good crowd, about 100,000 people plus, and it's always a great show, and New York's beautiful, of course. So I've been going for a while, and I used to go the whole weekend, or at least 2 days, and get a hotel overnight, and it's very, very taxing. It's very tiresome to go for a full day, and it's very expensive as well. But I just don't really have the energy to do it for that long of a period of time. So I just opted to go, even though I had a pro pass this year. I just opted to go for Saturday evening, and I got down there about 3:30, and I just want to talk about New York Comic Con and sort of my feelings about how things have changed. When I first started going, it was amazing. I'd never been to New York City for any length of time, and I'd never obviously been to New York Comic Con, and it's very exciting, and I used to plan everything out to a T, all the panels I wanted to go to. Now, I remember going to New York Comic Con. I started probably going in, I think, 2013, and there was just a wide range of great panels that you could go to, large and small. I'd always go see Kevin Smith give his talk, and that was always a lot of fun over in H Hall. And I would go see some artists, in a smaller panel, talk about his legacy, or somebody talk about a specific artist. Like, I remember one year I went and saw an Alex Toth panel that was really interesting, and there was always like a ton of panels I would want to go see. And I've just noticed over the last few years that when I look online, when they start announcing things at on New York Comic Con, their official website, that there just wasn't really that many panels I was interested in seeing, and really there weren't any this year. And really, really big ones that they that are going to be the most popular are ones that you can't even get into. Like, I remember the first couple of years going and waiting in line and not even be able to get in. We'd stand in line for an hour or two and not even be able to get into the panel. And it's just very tiresome. It's a waste of time. And I also noticed they started moving a lot of events off of the actual Javits Center grounds to other buildings around the area, and that's, to me, it's pretty inconvenient, to be honest with you. I'm already there, and getting in and out getting in and out of the show itself can be a hassle, because there's lines and you have to go through security and stuff, and so leaving and coming back, it honestly is kind of a pain in the ass. And then also, I noticed, a few years back, they actually demolished a part of Javits Center where they used to have a separate wing where they would have Artist Alley, and I just actually preferred that setup a lot better. Now they kind of have it down underground in the basement area, which isn't bad. It's a decent sized space, but it was just better the way it was before, and so it's a little disappointing that things have changed, and that I feel like the quality has kind of gone down a little bit. It's just not as exciting to kind of go. Now, all the regular stuff on the floor, the vendors, and the comic dealers and toy dealers and all that stuff is great. And of course, the cosplay is amazing. It's always really cool to see people in their amazing costumes. So that's pretty good. One thing that's kind of annoying is that they always sort of change the floor around. So if you've been going for a while, you kind of already have a plan of attack in your mind of where things are going to be. And you go and it's like everything's moved around, and then you're just rediscovering everything all over again. For example, specifically, the area where all the designer toys is, which is called the block, was always in one specific area, and they moved it to another quadrant of the show floor. And it's just kind of annoying to, you know, I mean, they give out these pretty elaborate, oh, here it is. Repop hands out these every year for free. And, you know, it's got a map in there and everything. It's not always super easy to find these right away. And, you know, it's making your way somewhere in the convention floor is always a hassle because there's so many people and it takes a while to get through to somewhere. So sometimes you just skip over this and you just kind of go to where you know, and then you get there and it's changed. So that's one thing that kind of annoys me. It really wasn't too bad this year. If you don't have a ton of time, like I didn't this year because I went later in the evening, I had about 4 hours, and you'd think that'd be a lot of time to kind of see everything, and it's really not. It goes by very fast. So, yeah, I mean, you don't want to spend a lot of time dicking around trying to figure out where everything is. And you don't really have a lot of time to just sort of saunter through all the different areas. And so that was a little bit of a challenge for me. I really have a hard time with crowds, like really large crowds where you can't really move freely. It doesn't give me anxiety, it just makes me frustrated, and I get you know, pretty testy, you know. It's really hard to you know, you turn this direction, so you bump into somebody steps on your foot, you're bumping into your bag, you're dragging all this shit around. That's not my idea of a good time, honestly. But I suck it up for con. It's once a year, and you know, if you have a good strategy and a good plan, you'll be all right. I usually take a really big backpack with me. They have a baggage check there. That's a pain in the ass. If you know, you have to pay some money for it, which isn't too bad, but you're gonna be waiting in a line. But you know, dragging stuff around with you is also a pain in the ass. But these are always great to pick up just as a souvenir. They're free anyway. And you know, I'm like one of those types of people who really enjoys entertainment guests at Comic-Con. And they really just, the last couple of years, haven't really had great guests. Like, I remember, I think the second year I went, they had like the entire main cast from Star Trek Next Generation, which was incredible. And I had like a 10 or 15 minute conversation with Brent Spiner, and we talked about his show Fresh Hell, and he was really nice. And it was just, you know, I bought a photo, got it signed, it's hanging in my bathroom, you know, Commander Data, get to stare at him every day when I'm brushing my teeth and think about that memory. And I don't know, like, they had Tom Hiddleston and Paul Rudd. I'm not really too... Paul Rudd, I guess, would be kind of cool if he had some Halloween 6 shit to sign. I'm not really a huge Ant-Man fan. But, I mean, as far as, like, entertainment guests, Billy D. Williams. I mean, I guess it would have been kind of cool to meet him before his legacy's ruined by this next Disney Star Wars movie. But... you know, it's usually very, very expensive to get autographs at New York Comic Con too, so I just kind of skipped over. But I'm just talking about, you know, these guests just really aren't that great. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. Now, Artist Alley guests are usually pretty good. You know, they had the Kuberts and Frank Miller. One thing that always annoys me about con is I've always wanted to get some stuff signed by Greg Capullo, who's an amazing Spawn and Batman artist. And every time I go by his booth, he's like never there. Now, granted, he's got, you know, he's probably got predetermined times of when he's going to be there, when he's not. But most artists in Artist Alley are just there for long hours, long spans during the day. And, you know, you have to find a window when you can get down there and find them. And if they're only going to be there for a couple hours, it makes it really hard. Maybe you can't get there in time. And every time I've tried to see Capullo and get something signed, there's a gigantic line. And he's not there. Which was the same case this year. So no Greg Capullo signatures this year. But you know, whatever, there'll be another opportunity, I'm sure. But I am a huge fan of Greg Capullo's artwork's amazing. But so anyway, let's get to some fun stuff instead of just picking it apart. I did pick up some collectibles. As you know, I'm a huge horror fan, of course. If you're a fan of the channel, you probably know that about me. First thing I got, nothing too fancy. You probably picked this up at your local Target, but I got the Friday the 13th Part 5 Resurrection figure from the very beginning of the movie when Jason comes alive. And I've been wanting this for a while. It was a reasonable price, and it was right there. I figured, why not just pick it up? And already unboxed it. He's not in there, but you can see some of the things in here. They got the cover mask, a couple of different head options. The heads just pop right off, and you can change them out. So the resurrection scene with the worms in the eyes, and then yeah, the shot from when Tommy Jarvis is looking out the window down in the yard. The Part 4 flashback scene. Got a sweet machete, ice pick, messed up hand. This is a really great figure. Nika, $30 to $35. Maybe you can find it on sale on Amazon for $25. But he's over there behind me, sitting on my bar with the other Jason and Freddy. If you saw in my walkthrough video, I stopped by the Heavy Metal magazine booth, which was upstairs on the main floor, and they had these awesome figures I really wanted, but they weren't available for purchase because they weren't released yet. But I will be looking for those online because they are fucking kick-ass. But what they did have with this sweet-ass shirt, and I'll go ahead and open it up for you. I had to buy this, of course. 30 bucks, not too bad for his specialty design. And I'll hold it up, see if you can check it out. Heavy Metal 1980, awesome animated movie. We did a commentary for it, go find it on the channel. But awesome Elmer Bernstein score for the movie, and this is an anthology animated movie, and I really love it. And great T-shirt, had to buy it, and add it to my collection. I've been buying a lot of T-shirts lately. But if you haven't seen Heavy Metal, has a great soundtrack, and the score was written by, like I said, Elmer Bernstein, who did the Ghostbusters music from the original movie. And same era of work, so it sounds really similar to the Ghostbusters score, and it's just really awesome. So, what else did I get? I also got these awesome Toonie Terrors, which I saw online recently. This is a NECA product, and they're really cool. They're like very cartoony versions of slashers, and I just really liked them. They're almost kind of Scooby-Doo-like. And let me show you Freddy here. The packaging is awesome. I don't think I'm going to be opening these up. I'll be setting them out to just look at them. But here we got a classic Sharp Hand Joe kick-ass Freddy Krueger figure. And on the back they have like these big cutout pieces. I guess they're like puzzle pieces, kind of like Garbage Pail Kids back in the day. So I picked up him, only $15. Now, NECA booth was not selling these directly, which was weird. But I did find it at another dealer. I wanted to get Michael as well, but she didn't have them. Unfortunately, maybe they sold out. But I also got the Jason figure. This is really nice too. Awesome packaging, of course. Same thing as Freddy, but you know, at 15 bucks, man, you can't beat it. It's a great collectible, something different, and yeah, so I got a couple of those. And last but not least, I've been seeing these online for a while, and with the revival of Creepshow on Shudder, which I will be doing a review on, you can bet your ass, I had to buy these. 30 bucks for a 2-pack. Creepshow, the original movie, Something to Tide You Over, starring Leslie Nielsen, Ted Danson. Awesome packaging. And the figures themselves it's probably really hard to see, but these are awesome. The colors are a little bit monotone. I wish they were like a little bit greener, but these are by Monstars, and they're just really cool. There's a little display stand, and you get the male and the female figure, and they're just really cool. I liked it, and I was really tempted to get the other figure, which was from the The other segment, can't remember, the birthday cake. Where's my birthday cake? Stephen King segment. But I was running low on funds at that point and thought maybe I'd save a little money for something else. So didn't pick it up, but maybe I will later. There's a picture of the other guy right here. And if you see these and you're a horror fan, I would recommend picking them up. I don't think I'm going to be taking these out of the package because they just look great. It's just a nice product, and I love Creepshow and Creepshow 2. We do have commentary for Creepshow 2 on the channel. You can look for that. It was a lot of fun. Me, Wazelle, and Alex did that quite a while ago. But nice 3 3/4 inch figure. So that's pretty much it. I spent a little chunk of change, and so I was thinking about buying some posters, but didn't get around to it. Sometimes on the last day, if you go on Sunday, you can do a lot of negotiating with these dealers who are just trying to make as much money on the last day as possible. So I was actually thinking about maybe going back on Sunday, and I just opted not to. So didn't pick up any cool posters this year, unfortunately, but if you go down to Comic-Con, just remember, wait until the last couple hours on Sunday because it closes earlier. A lot of the vendors are just trying desperately to make money, and you can negotiate a lot with them. You can get $5-10 knocked off something, or if you combine 2 purchases together, sometimes you can get a really good deal. So that's just a little tip for you. But other than that, it was just another Comic-Con. I had fun. I like doing it in short spurts versus a long drawn out weekend. Oh, I did get one more thing. I'll show it to you. This was for my buddy Dan, who started my podcast with me way back 3 years ago. A good buddy of mine from the Kubert School. He's actually deployed with the reserves over in Jordan right now, and he asked me to pick this up for him. This is the Predator #1 Dark Horse #1 issue from 1989. This is awesome comic. Really cool. He asked me, hey, if you see it, would you get it for me and send it to me? And I said, absolutely, buddy. And I looked. One dealer had a copy for like $40, and I was like, yeah, it's a good comic, but I'm not dropping $40 on it. I don't even think it was signed or anything. I don't know why it was $40. This is $8, and it's in good condition. Maybe I'll do a review of it before I send it to him, but I picked this up for him, and classic Dark Horse Predator comic issue #1. So there you go, guys. I would recommend checking out New York Comic Con if you're in the area. You can get down to it. Save some money for it. It's a lot more fun if you have some disposable income, and it's expensive. I'm not gonna lie. It adds up quick. The ticket, merchandise, T-shirts, posters, food is expensive. And New York City is very expensive, so you'll save a little bit of dough and get your tickets early, and reserve a hotel room as soon as possible because they always double the rates on that shit. So, but it's a fun show. It's definitely one of the best, and Artist Alley is great. If you end up going, definitely support artists, big and small. And yeah, that's all I got to say. So, as always, guys, stay awesome, stay R-rated. Until next time, cheers. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We've got a lot of great content coming for you this year. We've got reviews for movies, comics, and more. And of course, we will always have fan commentaries for the movies you love. Lots of talk about horror and just mainstream pop culture in general. And probably some Star Wars stuff leading up to Rise of Skywalker. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and yeah, become a fan of the channel. Let's hear what you want to see. Leave a comment below, and just let me know what you think. Alright guys, talk to you later.